All right, back in the basement again, and as of today, which is Sunday, April 24th, I'm exactly 1 week out from my meet, which is a USAPL meet. It's the Rhode Island State Championships being held in Johnston, Rhode Island, I believe, at Next Level Fitness, a place I've done a couple of USAPL meets already. I'm really looking forward to it. But that being said, I'm starting the second half of my peak, so it's a 4-week peak. I've been detailing this process since I started this meet prep. I think it's like a 15-week prep overall. Check out the playlist. It'll be linked in a card on the screen if you're interested in seeing some of the work I've been doing and some of my thoughts on the Juggernaut AI app program, which is the main reason that I'm doing this video series, just logging it through a complete meet prep with completion with a powerlifting meet at the end. Now, the second half of the peak is very different than anything I've been used to, mainly because my training days are changing slightly, and that's not based off of my input, that's what the app suggests. So up until this point, all 14 weeks prior, I've been training Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So 4 training days per week. The final phase, a little bit different. So the app called for this second to last week of the program overall, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're here on Sunday. I just completed my 5th day of training for the week. So a little bit different again, because I typically don't train 5 days, and I also don't typically train on the weekends, but that's what the app called for. Now, that being said, I was not able to stick to my plan completely, only because my eldest son is off for April vacation for school. So we took Thursday and Friday and just went up north to Boston for the night, which means I did not train on my normal Thursday. So for me, my training days this week were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, and then Saturday, Sunday training again. Most of these training sessions these last 2 weeks, though, are not super intense. There were some big lifts with squats and bench, which I'll get to in just a second, but I'm not doing any competition style pulls. And other than that, a lot of the other work, especially on Saturday and Sunday, were mostly what I consider fluff work. So shoulders, biceps, triceps, some accessory like quad movements, some posterior chain movements, nothing that what I would consider too draining, because again, we're trying to shed some of this fatigue going into what's going to be our meet. So have a couple of lifts next week. So I'm called for 4 days of training. I may or may not do a video because again, there's no super intense lifts. There are some things that are on the heavier side for squats, but it tapers off towards the end of the week. Not sure if I want to just film that or talk about that. We'll see how it goes. So overall this week, I think went really well. My top squat single, I actually went above and beyond just because it called for 580. And I think that was based off of the fatigue ratings that I'd been putting in, and it just suggested I do 580. But that math in me, the meathead math, if you will, 585 is a huge number for me because I get to load, 6 plates per side. So decided to bump it up to 585 just because squats have been feeling so good, and this moved really well as well. Super happy and excited about that. In terms of my bench, my top single called for 320. I considered going for 325 just because, again, last week I did 315, then I did 330. So I figured maybe do 325 because as of right now, I think my second attempt for bench, if things go well, should be around 325 or 326 because we're going to be using kilos. But decided to stick to program just because I don't know how my bench is going to respond necessarily. I know my squats are really strong right now. Bench has always been tough when it gets to the heavier single. So I went with 320 and I feel like it moved pretty good. So again, happy with that and happy that I wasn't doing any competition style deadlift pulls from the floor. I ended up doing some wagon wheel deadlift pulls, which emulates like a 3 to 4 inch block pull. Didn't film that just because I've been short on time this week and just didn't want to be filming a ton of stuff that's not super important. But if you want to see that kind of stuff, maybe going forward, maybe next training cycle, I'll get more into the accessory work. So I do get a lot of comments about that, but to be honest, I don't really focus on those as much in terms of recording because recording takes time and effort, and then there's more stuff to talk about in these videos. And to be honest, I really just like squatting, benching, deadlifting, and doing some variations off of that and not worrying about, bicep curls, tricep push down, stuff that you use lightweight and just do more rep work for. But again, if you want to see it, maybe I can do a video on that. And speaking of videos, I'm really looking forward to being off of this meet prep where I can start playing around with more of the bars and equipment that I have, and also spend some more time instead of doing these weekly updates because I don't have a ton of time to do videos. Maybe focus on some other topics that I've been meaning to check off, and maybe some other reviews as well, which I know you guys want the Transformer bar review. But overall, the week went really, really well. Happy with it. And right now at this point, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to put it on record just for when I go back to review these meet prep videos, which I do. I like to see how I'm feeling, how things are moving comparatively from training cycle to training cycle. As of right now, I feel the best that I have heading into a meet 1 week out. Typically, I'm very discouraged at this point, thinking about canceling the meet, worried about what my lifts are going to be, worrying that my strength's not going to be there. Right now, for the most part, I feel really, really good. And I think that is a lot due to me and my mindset for this. I've been trying to tell myself again, as we spoke about a little bit last video, that it's really up to my mental fortitude in this instance. The strength is there, just a matter of committing mentally and going out and performing. And that's really paid off. I've really tried to put a good mental positive spin on all of my training throughout this entire meet prep and for the past year or two. And I'm hoping it's going to pay off. We'll see how this week goes and we'll see how the meet goes. But again, I think even if I don't perform where I want to, it's still going to be a good meet overall. And that's what I'm really trying to tell myself. The hard work is done. The struggle is done. It's now just time to go out and lift and have fun and hopefully try to set some good numbers just as a base or a marker to go forward. So that's where we're going to end this video for today. You might see a video next week. If not, I'll definitely do one as a meet recap if I get someone to film it. I'm not really planning on trying to bring my camera and whatnot, but I'm hoping that someone can take some cell phone video or whatever. I think my wife's going to be going. My parents will be going. A couple of you mentioned you might be there, but I don't want to have my mind on, oh, am I going to get a good angle for this? Or how am I going to capture this event and make a video afterwards? I'm just really trying to focus on going out and getting some good lifts in. And even if I don't have footage, for me, that's a win. I don't care if I don't have a video to show that gets views or whatever like that. So hopefully that makes sense to you, but I'm hoping that someone can grab some and shoot them to me or whatever. If not, no big deal. But if you have any questions on this meet prep on Juggernaut AI, whatever you want to know, leave it in the comment section below and I'll get to it as soon as I can. But in the meantime, as always, thanks so much for watching and stay big.